Alright, next video, Reasonable Crashouts 3 by Waves.
Yes!
And so, we have returned to the infamous series of Reasonable Crashouts. I once again want to say I appreciate everybody who's tapped into these videos because they went dumb, stupid, crazy. We were going 2 for 2 with these, it's mad. And I really do want to turn this into a crazy series where I can talk about a bunch of different characters from everywhere. So hopefully we can keep getting some motion on these. Now I've done some parading, some researching, and a lot of information gathering to find some more people to cover and why them acting a certain type of way was just making sense. How bugging out and going crazy for these characters was justified at the moment. And how we can look at some of these characters and really relate to them. And trust me when I say there's a bunch of times these moments happen that we can all agree had to happen. And I selected a certain few today to add to the league. So without further yapping, let's get into it, man. And we are starting with one of the greatest MCU characters of all time. The man who pioneered the whole entire generation of Marvel movies and is straight up practically the Godfather. And I'm speaking about none other than the invincible Iron Man. Now hopefully we can all agree as a collective, Iron Man has one of the most reasonable crash outs of all time. And there's no arguing, it's impossible. I can understand the whole divide between being a team Cap and a team Iron Man throughout the whole of Civil War. Whether that be you were just against the Sokovia Accords or you were just team Iron Man because Spider-Man was there. We ain't judging, man, we ain't judging. But I understand both perspectives and how people can lean one way or the other. And I want to start off by saying,
when I was younger, I did Iron Man because I liked Iron Man more than Captain America. He was more like Captain America on paper. You should like him more because he's patriotic and he's this and that. But like Tony Stark just has the charisma. It's like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Like, what's it called? People like Larry Bird more, even though he was like more of a roughneck type of dude, and like Magic was that bubbly he was that bubbly personality, and Larry Bird was just that like mean, like nonchalant dude. And like I don't know, I just like Iron Man.
I am not agreeing with
because Captain America he's like, if someone's too much of a goody two shoes, you're just like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, next thing. Or like you just think or it just feels like ingenuine, you know?
the Sokovia Accords. I don't believe in giving the government the ability to ever have control over superheroes. This is not the boys universe, bro. You mean to tell me if a city is getting leveled, I gotta ask you for permission before I go? Shut the hell up, man. What are you talking about? And then if they needed me for some shit saying the president needs you to jump, I'm supposed to ask how high? What? Bro, I swear, if I was a superhero, I would crash out of the government. I've mentioned before, the government are always the stupidest people in all superhero movies. They're all haters. Reminds me of Lex Luthor.
They're the stupidest in real life too. I couldn't even say too much about other countries, but America.
The late Superman movie, because low-key, this guy was a D1 level hater. He was button mashing, talk about 1A. The guy was a sicko, man. However, the whole difference between Iron Man and Captain America's standpoints are just very personal to each of them. Iron Man just saw what people with power were doing with his technology throughout his entire trilogy, selling weapons to mass governments, which in turn caused a bunch of casualties and destruction among a lot of people, which probably swayed him more to aligning himself to the government. And after everything that happened in Sokovia and all the problems Ultron caused, which Iron Man held himself accountable for since he even brought up the idea of Ultron, it just made sense. And at the time, it just flipped a switch in him, saying that heroes in general need to take more accountability for their actions and be held responsible. Whereas Captain America, somebody who stood behind the government working for them and completing loads of missions for them, just saw how they were corrupted with groups like Hydra infiltrating giant groups like S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Winter Soldier, and seeing what they did to Bucky, which just showed him that he couldn't trust him at all, making him have a whole mindset of just operating off the freedom of doing it themselves and keeping saving the world amongst other heroes. Both of these arguments make sense, and I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't hate on you if you are on one side or the other, but I do think at times in the movie, and that's shown throughout the entire MCU, let's be real now, Iron Man was not gonna go through with the Accords like that, man. I mean, like I said earlier, even though Iron Man was swinging more to the government side, he was still.
And the reason he did in the movies was like, it was mainly because he felt bad and he was like, okay, maybe we should blah blah blah, but it's at the same time, it's like there's positives and negatives for both sides. Like, if you go let the government control you, then they're just gonna be like, they're gonna say no to whatever they feel like might be slightly a threat to them that would be helpful. Like, they could cut down on things that are like, okay, no, that's not safe, we can't do that, okay, but then the government also just isn't the most sound, so they're just gonna say some nonsense and be like, no, you can't do this because blah blah blah, when in reality it would help. But then again, if you're on Captain's side, then what's it called? Without that regulation, it's like, without that regulation, you could just have other events where there's mass casualties where it doesn't need to happen. But then at the same time, it's like, the government is just eventually gonna do too much. So you gotta,
The same guy.
you gotta find a middle ground, but there really was no middle ground. You had to be on.
I wouldn't listen to anybody if they told him to do something crazy. Like when they tried to take his suits in Iron Man 2 and bro was just straight up airing them. Or even near enough to the end of Civil War when Steve breaks into the raft to break everybody out on his side. Tony gets a call from General Ross to come defend him. But he just sends this man straight to voicemail. So really and truly, this kind of made Iron Man's whole ideology of even following the Accords throughout the entire movie useless. And why would he follow it fully? He's Iron Man. His whole personality is never really following the rules like that. I'll be real. But truthfully, I wouldn't say it's useless unless I didn't think Iron Man was doing it for more of an important reason. Let me open your eyes here, let me explain. I really and truly believe to some extent that Iron Man was more on the side of the Sokovia Accords and Civil War being approved was because he wanted to keep the Avengers together. Like in the hangar scene before they're about to scrap, Tony then says you're gonna come because it's us. He didn't have no motivational speech planned out or even some quick quip or joke about taking this shit more seriously. Tony just straight up said how it was. He just wanted to keep the Avengers together rather than being labeled terrorists or just straight up villains. And this is what pulled me more to Iron Man's side, because even though Captain America was making a really good case throughout the movie and literally being the only guy to read their codes to actually see what the hell they were getting themselves into, it's the way that Tony sees this as more keeping his family together and making sure all the man them are cool with each other. And plus, we all know damn well even if they all signed it, they wouldn't have followed it anyway. What the hell are we talking about? Iron Man is the last person to take orders from anyone, remember that. But genuinely, the real reason why I'm Team Iron Man is because Captain America is a flipping snake. There is no way in life, in the beauty of life and planet Earth itself, that I confidently would watch a flipping video of my parents getting murked and you really think I'm not gonna activate knowing the murderer is 2 steps away from me? Are you mad? Shut the hell up, man, and get out my way. This is still one of the biggest debates people have today.
Hit him with the craziest jumping too.
Civil War came out 9 years ago and people still talk about this shit. Bucky just standing there, just watching Tony watch the tape, knowing full well that he murked his parents. Even saying in the movie he remembers everyone. Even though it wasn't him, I couldn't give less of a shit, man. If I saw this tape, no hesitation, in 5 seconds, I'm gonna laser the shit out of Bucky, hit him with this 3-piece combo and a flipping foot dive. I'm telling you, regardless of the guy consciously committing the action or not, what sane individual would actually let the murderer of their parents go free? What the hell are we talking about here? If you were in Iron Man's shoes, the only thing on your mind, whether you are mentally stable or not, would undeniably be absolute fury. Especially knowing the murderer's right next to you, you're taking a piss. We've seen moments like that.
And it's the fact that, did Bucky know? Is that when Bucky found out? Because I'm... No way that's when he found out. Actually, no, I don't need to. Did... Move, bro! The MCU discovers he killed during the events of Captain America Civil War. Well, he had suspected Hydra's involvement in the assassination of Howard and Maria Stark. It was through a video shown by Bucky confirms his own role as the Winter Soldier in their deaths. So he didn't know beforehand, right? Previously suspected his involvement with the video. Oh, so he had some type of idea he had to do with it. He should have said something about that. Because you don't want them to find out because you know they're going to get mad.
This time and time again in Marvel movies. From Thor chopping off Thanos' head in Endgame because he violated the man in movie before, to Peter Quill absolutely shooting the shit out of Ego like he's Django for killing his mom. And all of these moments generally came from emotion. But then again, the crazy confrontation Tony had and his crash out against Bucky could have been avoided if Cap told the guy he killed his parents. Cap had so much time to tell this guy he murdered his parents. The gap between the Winter Soldier and Civil War in the MCU timeline is 2 years. So he had 2 years to tell him that, oh shit, Bucky killed your parents, man. But nah, he didn't tell him. And instead of just trying to subdue both Tony and Bucky, he just joins sides with Bucky and starts jumping this man. That's crazy. But it didn't matter because Iron Man was handing them their asses in a fight. But then he lost because it's a Captain America movie, which is some bullshit, man. Just saying though, if you were a Team Cap or a Team Iron Man, I still respect you. I mean, the Accords don't make no sense. Hopefully we can all agree that was definitely some bullshit. But nonetheless, Tony was betrayed by his friend, his teammate, and only wanted to keep the team together. And I can understand Cap's perspective on why he was pulling some of the crap in the movie. Bucky is his oldest friend and he wanted to save him, but he was just dead wrong for how he went about it, thus betraying Tony, which wasn't the right move, even with him knowing prior that he killed his parents.
I hated Captain America after this. Like, I already low-key didn't even like him before. Like, if I rewatch it, because I watched the movies as a kid, like, if I rewatch it, I'll probably be like, okay, I still like Iron Man more. He's just more likable.
Which he should have just told the guy in advance so he probably wouldn't have reacted the way he did. Iron Man bugging out just made sense. And if I was put into his same position, I'm packing Bucky. I swear this man is finished. Now going on to my next crash out, we have one of the greatest superheroes of all time. Somebody who took the role of being a hero professionally and wanted to be better. The man himself. Now let's just cut the shit. Mark has been hoed since season 1 of the show. He's always trying to do the right thing.
Mark has been hoeing himself. Because if I am Mark, oh my goodness. If I'm Mark the second I get my powers, he's just so stupid with his morals. At first he's not trying to kill anybody, and then he's just trying to kill everybody that opposes him. It's like so annoying. It's like, why are you trying to kill Darkwing? It's like, I get it, he tried to throw you in the void, whatever, but he's clearly rehabilitated. Why are you so mad? Why are you so, like, I understand why you're mad about the Reaniman, why you're mad about Darkwing, but the actions that he took was just so unnecessary. Like, he had 100% justification to be mad about Cecil using his weaknesses and like not telling him about it, or just doing it in general at all, and just spying on him. Those are reasonable, but the Darkwing thing, I didn't mess with that. This guy was just like so dumb, cause it's like he doesn't. The second he sees someone do a bad thing, he's just like, you know what? It's time to murder you. And then there's other people who's literally the Muller twins. I didn't even want them to die because they're probably my favorite villains. They were kind of cool, but it's like even in those cases, it's like, bro, they're just gonna keep killing people. They're gonna keep causing havoc. They're gonna keep doing all this stuff. Why are you like this? I don't even know. Mark pisses me off. Mark pisses me off.
Be the hero.
That's all you need to know.
Despite the beef, but somehow, some way, this guy gets into the most hater situations and gets his shit rocked 9% of the time. I'll be honest, before the end of season 3,
oh, the Invincible War. That's what pissed me off. You're telling me there's clones of yourself that you can literally, bro, like a lot of them were fairly weak. You're telling me that you couldn't help out with that 2-day war, and you're gonna, no, I want to sit next to Eve. I want to make sure Eve is okay. Eve is going to be fine. Eve wanted you to. She would have wanted you to go. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my.
Mark had way too much patience. Because if it were me, we'd be fighting, bro. We'd be boxing. So let's go over some examples so I can just show you how every time Mark started going crazy or should have gone crazy, it would have made sense. When Mark was helping Tyne overthrow Machine Head and saw this guy.
And I know
to
some degree what's the Boulder guy's name again? I forgot what his name was. I don't understand why Mark is actively going after him, talking about I'm going to put you in prison. I'm going to put you in prison. I'm going to put you in prison because you tricked me and this and that and then blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, Mark, shut your ass up because it's not that deep. He is the one dude that you want on the streets and you want to put him in jail for him to get replaced with someone worse. And he did not want to listen to him. He did not want to listen to him. He was just talking about oh, no, you're going to jail because this, you want me to do this, blah. He's doing that so he could keep the streets safe. So he can, you see how he switched up the neighborhood like that? And you're talking about you have to go to jail. See, like, and the problem with him is he thinks everything is solved with punching. He think like, when it's time to fight, he's trying to talk. When he needs to talk, he's trying to fight. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. He's just so dumb. Like, why don't you talk to him and try to find some type of middle ground? You don't have to break out multi-pole, but why are you trying to put me in jail? I'm cleaning the streets up. I'm the good guy. He doesn't understand the systems behind things. You can't just keep taking out the mob bosses. They're going to keep getting replaced by worse and worse people.
The nest.
Mark is so stupid.
And jumped by his lackeys. When he started backing him and throwing his hands, right after this, Battle Beast starts beating the shit out of him. And the crazy thing about this is that none of this shit mattered because Titan set him up to take over, literally putting the guy in a life or death situation for his own benefit, just for him to get played again in season 3, getting put into another life or death situation. Hell no, man. Titan is on some
Titan may have done that, but Mark's a filter might. He be alright.
Kingpin shit. And even though he was practically asking Mark to do his job, he took advantage of this for his own benefit, using the guy, which ultimately almost got him killed twice.
He almost did get killed.
I'm bugging if this shit happened to me, I swear. And then we move on to talking about the hate
But still.
to himself, Angstrom Levy, who really and truly wasn't making sense once here. In his first appearance, where Mark came in and was thinking some crazy world-ending shit was going on when Angstrom was trying to create a whole hive mind between all of his alternate universe selves, when Mark was getting his ass jumped by all the different versions of the Mauler twins, that's when Angstrom decides to take off the helmet like a dumbass. And bear in mind, nobody was touching the machine, so his whole experiment could have kept going. So the guy decided to mess his own shit up. Then when the experiment fails and Angstrom fuses with all the rest of his different selves and goes ranting saying he's gonna kill Invincible. As much as the word accountability is lacking here, he was low-key kind of making some sense here, since all the memories of all the different versions of him got put together in one place. Now he can't detach the idea of Invincible being a villain from the only good ones across the entire multiverse, since every other version of Invincible is evil. So I was thinking at the time he's gonna crash out against every version of Invincible. And guess what? That shit never happened. This man, this criminal, targeted the only good Invincible across the entire multiverse. The man made
he realistically, since that one Angstrom is all of them combined, maybe not all of them, because a bunch of them combined. If you really think about it, he probably hires one of the Invincibles that killed his family. I'm pretty sure Sinister Mark killed his kid right in front of him. So you're gonna hire the guy that killed your kid to hire the guy that you tried to save.
Made it personal, beat the shit out of Debbie and was scaring the hell out of Oliver as a baby. Then when Invincible pulled up, Angstrom just starts kicking his ass across the entire multiverse. Every time he threw a different bang, it was a new dimension. Half the shit this guy was doing the entire episode was just testing the man's patience. Then as soon as he mentioned, I'm gonna kill your family too, bro was cooked it and he got packed. Straight up, get this man a self-revive. He was finished. Then the next time we see Angstrom, this shit was the most diabolical mixed with stupid I've ever seen in my life, bro. The same guy who has all the memories and all the past traumas of all the other Angstroms who lost their Earths to Viltrumite rule by Marks across the different universes they come from, just starts moving on some the enemy of my enemy is my friend type shit and allies himself with different Invincibles. My guy, they killed your families, bro. What? Angstrom hates the only good version of Mark so much, he just decided to work alongside the evil versions of himself who took way more from him than Invincible did. Where's the logic here? It wasn't making sense. And used the Marks to destroy and kill thousands of people to get at one person. Angstrom, man, what the hell are you doing? And when Mark started activating on this man, as soon as he could, bro was really gonna kill him, but he hesitated and Angstrom got away because he was lucky. Mark crashing out and this guy was just making sense. This man was hating for a mistake he made. Shit, he should have blamed the Mauler twins more since they were gonna kill Mark, and that's what even got him to take off the helmet in the first place. But nah, he blames the hero. And this guy didn't even do as much as the other versions of him destroying planets and killing his own families and his children. Yeah, Angstrom wants to be on his bad side. Make it make sense, man. But we can't speak about Invincible without mentioning the demon himself, Conquest. And there are no words in the English dictionary to describe how heinous this guy is. The guy is the embodiment of what it means to truly be a sicko, and was Mark's final test before he decided he's gonna go full Batman and start beating the shit out of his enemies. Their fight was leveling cities, and whilst Mark was genuinely struggling, this fiend was enjoying every last bit of it. Bro couldn't get enough of absolutely whooping this man. He was getting turned on boxing with him and enjoyed every moment of fighting with this guy. This guy was doing heinous shit like smacking Oliver and spinning him like—
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I had to rewind when he smacked Oliver because I smiled. I thought it was
and
funny.
enjoyed every moment of fighting with this guy. This guy was doing heinous shit like smacking Oliver.
Like, this was hilarious. I had to get every single frame.
Spinning him like he's a Beyblade, blitzing Mark through whole cities, even worse than what Omni-Man did in Chicago. Decimated Adam Eve, and just full on gave this guy one crazy traumatizing experience, causing Invincible to once again crash out and kill the guy. And I don't blame him for doing that. Conquest was a sicko, he was a demon. And there's even other crash out moments in Invincible, like when Caesar was working alongside people like Sinclair, who were turning people into a bunch of robot zombies
I think Sinclair's inventions are good for the Reanimen, but in terms of letting him just like walk around free, I didn't like
Almost doing that.
Even if he's like doing better, like he literally has like he is not facing any repercussions for what he did. He killed didn't he kill people? Those people died and became cyborgs. I'm pretty sure the only dude who survived was William's boyfriend. So the fact that he's just free roaming around, dating who he wants to date, buying what he wants to buy, having an apartment, this and that, the third, that is not okay. He should definitely be in prison. Give him benefits in prison. He gets to eat this food, that food, but he should not be roaming free the way he is.
It's William, the new Darkwing who killed a bunch of people, and he even put a device in Mark's brain which could potentially kill him. And the only reason Mark...
Nah, I think Darkwing was just trying to help in the best way he could. That's how he saw it. So it's like, Mark can get mad at him for like trying to kill him. Like, someone trying to kill you, go do whatever you want. But if he's just trying to clean up the streets, I don't see a problem with it.
Against any of these men is because they were straight up criminals. He even used the Reanimen to beat the shit out of the guy. If I'm being real here, compared to a lot of superheroes I've seen, Mark had way too much patience. He would get beat up and his life would be on the line 24/7 with people crashing out at him at all different ways at the extreme. And
that was the most irreasonable crash out. What was his name?
And his life would be on the line 24/7 with people crashing out.
What's this guy's name? I don't know. Whatever his name was, so reasonable.
Him at all different ways at the extreme, and he kept turning the other cheek and wanted to stay a good guy, only to see the amount of destruction they were causing to finally decide he's gonna go full vigilante. Which I get. Look at everything the guy went through. Mark crashing out on the majority of crazy people he thought was just making sense. And if I was Mark and been through all the same shit, I would have been tired. It would have been overfired powers, believe it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the final culprit of this video. And this person would barely get angry, but when they did, it was 100% justified. They would be bugging at the most serious situations that we could all relate to, and they were just speaking facts. But without further yap, I present to you the one and only SpongeBob SquarePants. And despite SpongeBob always being a happy go-to guy who rarely displays anger and ever actually throws a fit, in life, it's always the people that never get angry that you should never anger, because these guys just start going crazy. Every time SpongeBob would go local, there was always a reason behind it. Like when Squidward was crashing at this guy's place because he was homeless after quitting his job at the Krusty Krab, and he was talking crazy to this guy. He was demanding drinks and entertainment off the guy in a maid outfit. He was sauce man. And the look on SpongeBob's face every time he would get asked something, he was fuming, fam. You can see the mob meter build up. He was about to start going crazy. SpongeBob was getting so pressed that he was spelling his food, get a job, and he still wasn't taking the hint. And cause Squidward wasn't listening, SpongeBob fully broke the roof of his own crib, dragging him all the way to the Krusty Krab and threatening Mr. Krabs like crazy, telling him to give his job back. And this wasn't the only time SpongeBob crashed out. There's other times, like Patrick not getting the footage for a movie they were supposed to be filming, and SpongeBob went crazy. The guy was out here eating worms and shit. Or when SpongeBob got stuck in a ringer and Patrick glued the guy to it with Forever Glue, ruining the guy's day completely. All the time, Patrick and SpongeBob were looking after a baby, and he just dashed ice cream and donuts over Patrick. He was pressed there. Every single time SpongeBob would actually get mad, it was actually for a good reason. Even when Mr. Krabs was teaching this man how to make a Krabby Patty, and he was bugging. SpongeBob doesn't even get mad like that. Him and Patrick usually always bait Squidward and get this guy completely pressed every 5 seconds. But with every time SpongeBob would get angry, he was angry for a reason. And that's saying a lot, because half of the dumb stuff these guys do are for no reason and don't really add up. But in conclusion, SpongeBob is definitely up there, man. He's up.
And he forgot the time when Squidward... I'm surprised he didn't crash out when Squidward got to be the manager of the Krusty Krab too. Like, Squidward hates his job. Like, he didn't even crash out for that. He literally just, like, got drunk off of ice cream.
But now we at the end, and these were some more reasonable crash outs I had. If you man got any more or disagree with the ones I mentioned, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. I love all you man. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I like the sense song though.